Happy Sunday, my fans and my followers, people interested in what I'm doing. Hope you're having a good day. You know how it goes. I'm here for my trade recap last week and also the new week insights on GU and gold. I'll say last week was a good one. I had a good trade last week. We even did the analysis on this channel last week Sunday too. So if you watched that video, I guess you took advantage of the opportunity. But this was a trade. First of all, I had the loss though. I think this was an early entry. Well, I saw reasons that made me took this trade, but it didn't work out. So seeing the momentum and everything and how it was forming, then I was convinced that we'll drop from here. And I entered this trade. It was a good 1:2. Yeah. Also okay. This was just the two trade I took this week. Or let's say last week. I took this trade about I think this was Monday, Tuesday, thereabout. Then this was on Thursday. Yeah, I think this was on Thursday. And I closed on Friday morning. As soon as I wake up, saw the market around here. I think that was my 2 hours. Yeah, that's where I closed. So if you saw my past video, you know that I talked about this zone on gold after our analysis while we were looking for entry. I anticipated that gold will give a jump at the market open, then sweep the liquidity above this other lower high here, then we'll see a drop, and that's exactly what happened. So let's just dive in straight to what we have for the new week, or what we should be expecting. Well, this is the weekly time frame. I know on my weekly I don't do much, just check the market bias and go down to the daily time frame. So as you can see, GU is on an uptrend, but currently it has been ranging for about 1 year now. Look at the higher highs and the lows. This was the last high before the range started. For the longest, this is about a year range if you check it properly. So let's go down to the daily time frame. Okay, this is where I draw my zones. But honestly, there's not much to do on GU right now, because GU is just sitting at a significant zone that we might see bias reaction on. But also due to what's happening currently on the news. Yesterday, that was yesterday. I think Iran blocked the Strait of Hormuz again due to violation of their peace talk and something like that. So anticipating that news and what might likely happen on the chart, I think we'll see a huge gap at the week open too. That's today. We'll see a huge gap down here, but let's see. I'm not certain yet. That's just my anticipation. So that's our resistance and our major support that we can see. All of this is just ranging. So, but let's analyze the structures that we can see inside the range bound. Okay, let's start from here. This was our first low, a lower high, a lower low, lower high, lower low. We got a lower high here and a lower low before this correction pattern that gave us, okay, that brought price back to this resistance, reacted, but there was enough bias, gave us W pattern, and finally a change of character to the upside. So I like that. And this was our recent high and our low. We got the retracement and a break of structure. Another retracement, but we couldn't get a new break of structure. This was just an equal top. Then we saw this huge drop first of all, and you saw buyers reacting at this place, acknowledging that okay, there's a zone here, but the sellers were also strong, and we saw the drop to the downside. This was a break of structure. Making this our last lower high. Then we saw the change of character to the downside. Making this place our high. Immediate high that I can see that caused this change of character. So yeah, I got the retracement. The outside market tested this fib level. I talked about this place too, and we took a trade from here. I took a trade from here. And I think I got a bit of profit. I ended up in break even on this trade. But I also took an advantage here too. So let's see. The market reacted 78 fib level. Using my fib, you see it. Hold on, let me just do that. Look at it. At this level here, 78 fib level, and that was a good POI that I was waiting to take my sales from. And after seeing this 3 ninjas candlestick, I was convinced that okay, there's going to be a sell. But I predicted the sell getting to the take profit level, so as soon as it reversed on me, I just had to leave. I talked about this too. So moving forward, this was the retracement. High, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then we saw this huge break. This is a minor structure change of character. You know how to do it. So this is the retracement. Test fib level also. I think this was also a 78 fib level from this low in this place. Yeah, tested the 78 fib level. After this change of character here, then we saw the drop, break of structure. This is a minor change of character. Also a minor break of structure. This is our main highs and lows from here to this place. This is our trading range. So yeah, if you took a trade from here, after this minor change of character, you waited for the reversal or the retest, then placed an entry here, you would have gotten the full TP hit here. So we got a change of character, and okay, we got a break of structure. Then we saw the market reversing again, acknowledging this low here, turning it to a double bottom, like the second tap of that zone, of that support zone. Then we saw retracement to the 78th fib level again before the drop that broke down this support zone that we are seeing right here. Then this is where I call this my major break of structure again. This being our major break of structure, then I'll call this my current high and my low. So this is my trading range. Since we are still on a downtrend inside the range, but also don't forget this is a strong daily support zone that you can just see the market start reversing and buying from here without even acknowledging any sell POI that we keep here. So because looking at the past market, we see that the market has been reacting at this zone and bouncing off aggressively, even getting to the top, the resistance. Well, that this move now is unlikely to happen due to the fundamentals. I'm not very sure that we'll see another bounce from this support zone back to the upside. What I'm anticipating right now is as soon as the market opens, we might see a gap below due to the news. Hold on, you can even see the news here. Is it 18 hours ago, that's yesterday, Iran closes Strait of Hormuz as fighting flares again in Lebanon. So this news is enough to give a huge gap to the downside. So let's see what will happen. We just have to sit on our hands. I don't have too much analysis to do here on GU, but our ideal POI should be for next week, just using the fib since we are still on downtrend. Using the fib level here should be our next POI. This supply zone here. I think that should just do, okay. Yeah. This around this place, we should get a reaction and a sell reaction from here. Because this is a recent supply zone that I can see here. And also there's a fib level right there, so that's a strong POI to look out for. Yeah. But however, if the market opens and you don't see a gap below this support zone already, maybe the gap just at this place, and maybe through next week we get another news saying that the Strait of Hormuz is open again and they are into peace talk, we might just see GU buying back to the upside without acknowledging this resistance here. So let's just watch out for it and see what will happen next week. You don't have to rush it. You know how it is. Just be patient. Maybe I don't trade on Mondays. So you might just be patient. On Tuesday, you might look for an entry then. Buying from here should be valid also. And also selling from here is valid. So if you see a reaction, maybe a good pattern from this zone, you can take a buy. Since we know that from the higher perspective, GU is still on an uptrend, but it's ranging. Also, there's something I would like to add here. Okay. There is a trend line right here from the weekly time frame. This is a major trend line. that should bounce go to the upside. But if we see a break to the downside, that means GU is set to fall very hard. This is just a long-term view. Yeah. If GU should break this major trend line, this major weekly trend line, at this zone currently, after all these accumulations, after all the range, if we start trending downwards, we'll see GU. First level target should be 1,000, okay, 1.27 thousand, that level, and 1.21 thousand next. And this is about 400 pips move. I checked it yesterday. You should just watch out for it. I am more confident on the break than even the buy due to the fundamentals and everything that is happening right now. So let's just see. Don't rush it, just wait. Let's go to gold. I'll be quick on gold. Yeah, we talked about gold being on downtrend last week. The high, higher lows, higher high, higher low. Couldn't give us another higher low. A higher high. We got a lower high here, a lower low, series of lower high and lower low. So going down to the daily time frame, what can I just see? I see that there's a major support zone there. Since we're on a downtrend, you should acknowledge the support zones and the resistance that we can see. The trade I took last week was just a simple trade, and also nice conferences that was backing the trade up. I got that set up from a daily perspective on gold, so it's unlikely not to work out. You see the retest at this 61 fib level, and after this huge confirmation, this evening star here, I saw the retracements that morning. Then I took a sell at just around this zone, and I got all this done. So yeah, this is my change of character and break of structure. So currently we are still on a downtrend on gold. The next level target I'm expecting on gold should be 3,900, because we had a valid break of structure here, and due to what the fundamentals is saying, due to this war, oil is set to start buying again. Why gold will be dumping? Because investors will be leaving gold to buy the USD. So you should do your research on that. I see next level target on gold should be 3,900, and we might see next week a dump to the downside too, just a jump, then a little retracement and a continuation. I know that okay, gold is set to touch this level, 3,900. So let's see what will happen. First off, from the 4 hours, you can see this sweep, and okay, analyzing, hold on. Let's see where our next sell opportunity would come from. This is our last lower high and the lower low. This was the retracement move. Higher highs and break of structure, then a change of character to the downside, a retest and they fall, broke structure here and broke the structure also. So using my fib from the recent lower high to the lower low. I don't know. I can't put my fib right here for now because I don't know if the market starts. If initially we might see a dump, then before the retracement happens. But wherever this market get to, that's where you just place your fib and gauge the POI. This is my setup. This is where I trade the fib level. So I don't do anything aside the fib level. Fib level shows me my entry and also shows me my take profit. Except when I'm cool with the profit, I just exit. That's how it works. But I'll be expecting price to react around this zone. Let's say from this supply zone here. Let me change the 4 hours. Yeah. From this jump. Maybe after the jump next week, the retracement, and we'll see a continuation. So let's see. Watch out for this setup. Don't just get into the trade if price get to this place. Wait for confirmation. Wait for the seller's reaction. Just like this one. This was a huge seller's reaction that gave me confidence that okay, the sell was coming in even after the retracement. You can see the candlestick. So wait for a value confirmation, a huge displacement that okay, the sellers are in now. Then just find an entry and place your sales. So let's see how it goes next week, guys. If you see this channel, please share, like, and subscribe. Comment also. Tell me what I'm not doing that you want me to be doing. So just support the channel. Alright. See you next week.